like Big Bang Theory. It was a hypothesis earlier. Earlier it was a hypothesis. Today, after solid proof about the celestial matter, according to Stephen Hawking, etc., it's a fact. So Big Bang Theory today is a fact. Yesterday it was a hypothesis. Once it becomes a fact, I use it. You know, there are hypotheses saying that human beings have been created from a single pair of genes, Adam and Eve. I don't use it. Because science has established, it goes along with the Quran. It goes along with the Quran that we have been evolved from one pair, Adam and Eve, peace be upon them. But I don't use it because that is not an established fact. So therefore, while bringing a correlation between Quran and science, etc., see to it that you use only those scientific facts which have been established and not hypotheses, because Quran is far superior to modern science. I'm not trying to prove the Quran to be the word of God with the help of science. No, not at all. What I'm trying to do, for us Muslims, Quran is the ultimate criteria. For the atheist and for the non-Muslims maybe, science may be the ultimate criteria. What I'm doing, I'm using the criteria, the yardstick of the atheist, and comparing with the yardstick of the Muslim, the Quran. I'm not trying to prove the Quran to be the word of God with the help of science. What I'm trying to do, when I bring a compatibility, and I show the superiority of Quran, that what your science has told us yesterday, Quran has told us 1400 years ago, I'm trying to prove that our yardstick, the Muslim yardstick, the Quran, is far superior to your yardstick, the science. Therefore, you should believe in Quran, which is far superior. Hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Dr. Naik.
Yes, Dr. Cambell.
This is the last, excuse me.
Last two questions for the speakers. We'd ask the audience to just bear for us for a few minutes more. We have the last question on the slip for Dr. Cambell, followed by one last question for Dr. Zakir, and we'll ask you to please wait till the end.
It's the same question as the last one, really. Dr. Cambell agreed to Dr. Naik that the errors he showed are not wrong and that he can't answer them. So does this mean that Dr. Cambell agrees that the Bible has errors? So it's not the Word of God. There are things in the Bible that I can't explain, that I don't have an answer for now. And I'm willing to wait until I see whether an answer comes. There's many places where archaeological things have proved that the Bible is true, talking about towns and who was king and things like that. And I think there's great proof that the Bible is valid and good history.
Thank you, Dr. Cambell.
Just 1 minute.
Okay.
The question is, are there any more mathematical contradictions in the Bible? What is Bible or Islam? Sorry. Are there any more mathematical contradictions in Islam? Are there any more? Is it Bible or Islam? I don't know. I'll answer both. Because is there any more? It should be Bible, because I spoke about contradiction. Anyway, regarding Islam, the Quran says in Surah Nisa chapter 4, verse number 82, أَفَلَا تَدَبُّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ وَلَوْ كَانَ مِنْ عِنْدِ غَيْرِ اللَّهِ لَوَجَدُوا فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. Do they not consider the Quran with care? Had it been from anyone besides Allah, there would have been many contradictions. There is not a single. Regarding more contradictions in the Bible, 5 minutes will be insufficient. Even if they give me 5 days, it's difficult. Anyway, I'll just mention a few. It's mentioned in the 2 Kings, chapter number 8, verse number 26. It says that Ahaziah, he was 22 years old when he began to reign. 2 Chronicles, chapter number 22, verse number 2 says that he was 42 years old when he began to reign. Was he 22 years old or was he 42 years old? Mathematical contradiction. Furthermore, in 2 Chronicles, chapter number 21, verse number 20, it says that Joram, the father of Ahaziah, he reigned at the age of 32 and he reigned for 8 years. And he died at the age of 40. Immediately Ahaziah became the next ruler at the age of 42. Father died at the age of 40. Immediately son takes over, who's at the age of 42. How can a son be 2 years older than the father? Believe me, even in Hollywood film, you will not be able to produce it. In Hollywood film, You can produce a unicorn, which I mentioned in my talk. Unicorn, you can have cockroaches, which the Bible speaks about. Cockroaches and dragons and serpents. But in Hollywood, you cannot even show a son being 2 years older than the father. It cannot even be a miracle. Even in miracle, it's not possible. Impossible. In miracle, you can have a person being born of a virgin birth, but in miracle, you can't have a son being older than the father by 2 years. Further, if we read, it's mentioned in the Bible in 2 Samuel, chapter number 24, verse number 9, that the people that were involved in the battlefield, it gives a list of these people in 2 Samuel, chapter 24, verse number 9, and it says that people that took part, 800,000 of the men of Israel took part, and 500,000 of the men of Judah. Same, if you see other places, Chronicle, chapter 21, verse number 5, it says that 1,100,000 people took part in the battlefield from the men of Israel, and 10,460 men took part of Judah. Was it 800,000 people who took part from the men of Israel, or was it 1,100,000? Was it 5 lakh people of Judah that took part, or 10,460? A clear-cut contradiction. Furthermore, it's mentioned in the Bible in 2 Samuel, chapter number 6, verse number 23, that Michal, the daughter of Saul, she had no sons. 2 Samuel, chapter 21, verse number 8, Michal, the daughter of Saul, had 5 sons. One place it says no children, no son, no daughter. Other place, 5 sons. Furthermore, if you read, it's mentioned in Gospel of Matthew, chapter number 1, verse number 16, it says about the genealogy of Jesus, peace be upon him, as well as Luke chapter number 3, verse number 23. And it says that Jesus' father, that Joseph, his father was Jacob. In Matthew chapter 1, verse 16. And Luke chapter 3, verse number 23, Jesus' father Joseph, his father was Heli. Did Jesus' father Joseph had 2 fathers? What do you call a person who has got 2 fathers? Or was it Heli or was it Jacob?
Thank you, Dr. Naik. Thank you very much.
Can we have you bear with us for 2 minutes? We have the renowned international Islamic scholar amongst us, Dr. Cambell Prt4, and on behalf of the Islamic Research Foundation, we feel it an honor if he would take the pleasure of inaugurating or releasing the book just written by Dr. Zakir Naik, The Quran and Modern Science, Compatible or Incompatible. Dr. Cambell Prt4 to release the book, which has just recently been published and printed a few days back, and being released here in Chicago on this appropriate occasion.
And I think there is no more fitting way as a gesture of friendship than to ask Dr. Zakir to give it to Dr. Cambell by himself.
As we have a very limited number of these copies available, so we request only the non-Muslim guests who have come here to kindly take a complimentary copy of the book as they leave the auditorium if they are interested. It would be a pleasure. May I call upon Dr. Sabil Ahmed to present the vote of thanks.
Again, on behalf of Islamic Circle of North America, I would really thank all of you for your patience and all our distinguished guests over here for giving us a very good performance for all of us. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayhi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.